Hey everyone, welcome to today's question and answers, Troubleshooting Tuesdays. Today's question is, what are cofactors and why are they important? When we are delving into genetics, I often hear that, oh, I have this SNP, what supplement should I take for that? So I'm going to show you why we need to look at a much bigger picture than just the SNP, and how if we just start taking supplements just because of a SNP, it can really get us into a lot of trouble. So let me just share my screen here real quick. So this is my favorite pathway planner by Ben Lynch. He's got some really good charts here that illustrate these pathways in a pretty easy way to understand. So what we're looking at right here is our methylation, our transsulfuration, and biopterin. And those are the neurotransmitters, the detox, and then our methylation cycle. So when you look at this here, it kind of sometimes is overwhelming, but it's very actually simple. So you just basically follow the arrows. And the cofactors we're talking about today are these green, the little curved arrows with the green abbreviations. And those are super important because those, let me zoom in a little bit here, those are the other building blocks that are needed at that particular gene. So right here is MTHFR, that makes methylfolate. However, it needs B2 and B3 for that to work. So if we're taking folate or we're taking methylfolate, that's going to go on to here to MTR. So methylfolate meets at MTR with methylcobalamin, which is methyl B12. It also needs, see here, homocysteine coming up, and zinc is a cofactor. So you need all four of those things for that to work. So taking the methylfolate, if we don't have enough methyl B12, if we don't have enough homocysteine, if we don't have enough zinc, then we're pretty much taking something that really can't be used anyway, and we can actually cause more problems. So it's really important to look at all these other factors here. Another one that I hear a lot about is SAMe. So MTHFR is super important to keep the folate cycle going, and then this methionine cycle here, there's a lot of recycling that happens. Most of our pathways, there's a lot of recycling. There's kind of routes A, B, and C. There's multiple ways to get things done. So once we start supplementing for one of those, then we can throw a cog in the wheel into other places and stop things, turn things on and off. I don't know if you noticed here at MTHFR, this SAMe, usually there's a lowercase e, but this stands for SAMe. This will slow it down. When you see this purple here, those are things that will naturally slow down that gene as part of like feedback, like on and off switches. So if we have SAMe is made right over here, in the top left, I need to have a marker. I wish I could kind of mark this up to show you. But after MTHFR, so after methylfolate and methylcobalamin, zinc and homocysteine come up, they make methionine. That with magnesium and ATP leads to SAMe. So if there's a lot of SAMe here, that can throw off and turn down that MTHFR, which is completely doesn't even matter about what our SNPs are. This is just talking about the normal process without any sort of SNPs and variations. So that's why whenever it says, oh, I'm low in SAMe, I should just go take SAMe. Not really, because then you risk actually making things worse if you are not monitoring very, very closely. So where I always start at is with the cofactors first from our nutrients from our food. And making sure that we have enough of these cofactors for these things to work. And if a cofactor such as right here, SAMe, is needed to make more methylcobalamin, I'm not going to go out and get SAMe. I'm going to really support the methylcobalamin cycle itself, support the homocysteine recycling, getting to methionine. And zinc is like one of the main cofactors for that. And you will see zinc in a lot of different health issues. Like we need it vital for our immune response, vital for keeping our inflammation in check. So the inflammation is not necessarily a bad thing. We need an inflammatory response. That inflammation happens just as part of life. If we don't have inflammation, we will die because we need that just for our daily living, and it's a normal process. It's when it gets out of hand that it's a problem, if we're not keeping things in balance. It's all about balance and keeping things in harmony. So hopefully this helps answer some of the questions on cofactors and why they are important. And I'll show you where I like to go first to get a snapshot of, do we have enough of these cofactors in our diet? So let me go over here to, it's nutritiondata.self.com. So here is nutritiondata.self.com, and this is my favorite site for getting a snapshot of what is a daily intake of micronutrients. So you just, you got to create an account. It is free. I mean, you can do this without an account, but you can't track it without an account, which you can't add up more than one thing. So type in the food that you're wanting to add in. So we're going to do lettuce on here. I've already got a few of the things I think in my tracking that I started with. We're going to do some red leaf raw lettuce, add that to tracking. How much do we have of the left? 1 leaf. We're going to do more than that. We're going to do like, let's say 10 leaves of lettuce. Okay, and then save and analyze. Like I've got a few other things. I had like an apple, I had some beef, I had some squashes. I mean, tons of food you can put in here. Save and analyze, and then it will give you a breakdown. Okay, what was it you had that day? What are the nutrients? You scroll down, click more details here on the micronutrients, the vitamins, and you can see that, okay, what all did I get today? So we're looking at, like, for instance, like the B12 and folate. So B12, I had almost 93%. I mean, roughly. Folate, though, was pretty low. So how is my zinc? What was the zinc? Plenty of zinc. So we know that, okay, maybe I should focus on getting more folate in my diet. How can I get more folate in my diet? So then we can look at nutrients that we're needing, and there should be a chart here. I don't have the Flash player started. You do have to have Flash, and I don't have that activated on here. There's a, right here in this blank area, there's a chart here for the Flash where you can click on the folate, and it will give you a list of foods rich in folate. So I would always start there versus running out and getting a folate supplement, because our body utilizes things from the foods so much better. So hopefully this has been helpful and you understand more about the cofactors, what those mean, and why they are important to look at a bigger picture versus just looking at, oh, I have MTHFR, what kind of folate should I take for that? If you have any other questions, I look forward to speaking with you, and you all have a wonderful, great day. Take care.